Often something that is talked about quite a lot at schools is, around well-being and helping students to regulate, and we're often told, co-regulate with them and help support them to regulate so they can be more engaged in the classroom. But it's actually quite hard to know what that is and what that needs to look like and how to do that appropriately without having your whole class meditating for the whole period.
Yeah.
What are some strategies with a student who has ADHD? How can we help them just to feel more sort of safe, secure and okay with being in that room?
Yeah. So co-regulation. I mean, it's hard for parents, and they've got parent 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever, and so for teachers, I think it is really challenging. You've got lots of kids in the class, all with disparate needs and things. So I think it's it's a high expectation. But I think there's some core strategies that are useful for people with ADHD. So having them toward the front of the class, without annoying peers beside them, within your line of sight, without other distractions and things, is a helpful start. And I think sort of having a reasonably clear idea about what are the guidelines for the classroom. So it's explicit at the outset, what your expectations are, albeit a bit of flexibility with that, depending on who you have in your class. And I think kids with ADHD, they often visibly show signs of being less regulated, and I think it's having a safe way of communicating that. So frequently some kids are 0 to 10, no time flat, and they're very, extremely challenging, but most people will have a few signs of starting to get fidgety, or they'll be moving around in their seat. And I think it's kind of intervening at those points, asking how they're doing, checking in with them, and possibly, looking for a break, taking some time out. It's harder at high school, I know, because you can't get people to give a message to the principal as easily. But I think movement breaks are really useful, or sometimes just breaking it up with getting a drink of water, just taking a little bit of time out, and it's finding things that aren't too stigmatizing for the student, but are practical for the teacher to be able to implement. And then some people do find things like fidget toys or whatever useful in terms of helping them regulate. I think it's kind of discussing with parents and the teenager what are the strategies that will be most helpful for you if things start to escalate. I think for those 0 to 100 kids, it's extremely challenging. It's just really difficult because there often aren't any warning signs and it's bang. Fortunately, that's a bit less common at high school than it is earlier on. But I think it's having a safe place identified basically. If someone's starting to go, and so they know where they're going to go, you've practiced it in advance. Maybe there's a safe person, you're probably it, over here in the learning support.
Yeah, often, with year 9s.
Go and see
Sarah.
That kind of Mayday thing. And then reviewing, how was it going, and what could you have done at an earlier stage to intervene so that we didn't go through the whole whole episode. Thinking carefully a little bit about that, because by year 9, 10, teenagers do have a bit of an idea about what works and what doesn't work for them.